Good evening, Podium Chasers. I hope you are all well. Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesdays, which we know means absolute pandemonium. And we are, of course, at the Formula Racing League Timpson Super Sprint Series Season 3, may I remind you. And this is round 2. And as you can see on your screens at the moment, we are at the delightful, the beautiful Imola for this evening's action, and I am 100% sure it is going to be a couple of epic races. If you remember last week, it was two very, very hard-fought races, and I'm expecting more of the same this evening without any questions whatsoever. So we're currently looking at who are we looking at the moment? I think we're looking at Junior Hughes. Yes, we are in his run DJC BMW. They're the 212. And as you can see, we've got our new sponsors, Timpson, which is, I think we announced that last week. Obviously, we've got some of their details on the screen as well. So, obviously, if any of you need anything that Timpson provide, we had some good jokes last week in terms of them being the life and soul of sim racing and holding the key to success, and I'm sure Christopher Gedman would appreciate me doing the same one this week, but yeah, please check them out. So format for this evening is the same as we always have on a Tuesday. We're going to have two 25-minute sprint races. They generally try and make it quite easy for me on a Tuesday, i.e. there are no pit stops, so we don't have to worry about refueling, we don't have to worry about tyres, and it's just a straight fight. And Keno is in the live chat. Good evening to you, sir. I'm sure you've had better days. Keno injured himself quite a while ago. He's a regular with us, and really, really good pace on the PC side. Injured himself when we were walking around Donington, probably trying to keep up with Traction and Michael and Steve, because they're all giants with their rather long strides. And fortunately, he's got to keep his boot on for another couple of weeks. But I did tell you, Keno, you're probably doing too much practice before you had the all clear. But fantastic to see you in tonight, buddy. So yeah, qualifying's going to be different. Usually we run a very short qualifying session, 10 minutes between both. And Rowdy Burns is in as well in the live chat. Good evening, Rowdy. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. Always great to see people in there. So normally we do two 10-minute qualifying sessions. Remember, we do have the AM class and the Pro class running together. And we were considering splitting that up into two separate tiers. But I think I don't know if that's 100% going to be possible this season. I'm sure it will next, given the popularity of this series at the moment. So, to sort of combat, if you like, there's no space on track, is there? I mean, we're going to have another 35, potentially 40 out on track tonight, and you bring different pace, different experience levels, and that doesn't always work when you've only got a very short qualifying session. So what we're going to do is we're going to split it, so they're going to have 8 minutes each. So the AMs will go out for their first 8 minutes, they'll get time to do a warm-up lap of probably 3 flyers, and then the pros will come out and do that indeed. Rookies race Thursday for Rowdy Burns. Good, like to see that. I will definitely be watching that one, my friend. But yeah, you can see we're in free practice at the moment. We've currently got just under 11 and a half minutes left, and then we will move into the qualifying session. Those that are familiar with the show, you know each week we will run through everyone that's due to race this evening. We'll do a little track walk as well, to give you guys more of an understanding about the track. And Chica's in as well. Evening, Coops. Yeah, I hope you have a great race as well, Chica, mate. So I'll raise my coffee delivery device to you right now. I know it says Daddy on the front, but, well, if the cap fits and all that. You can see there in the pit lane, that number 41 Porsche, the Pink Pig Porsche from James Williams. I think he likes it that I coined him the Pink Pig, because that's his COMMS name now as well. But all good, it's fantastic. So yeah, we'll do a track walk. When we get into qualifying, we'll do a full lap guide as we do every single time that we are live, and hopefully that will give you all a little bit more knowledge, or a bit of a walk into the mind of what drivers are having to deal with when they're taking on Imola. So before we just move on to that, let's have a quick look. Remind ourselves, so obviously this is the series calendar that we run through Formula Racing League. So we are Tuesdays, so that's the Super Sprint Series, 8 o'clock UK time, and then on Thursdays we have the Rookies Series, which is a great place. Click the like button, people, it makes me smile. Says yes, it really does. So click it, otherwise I'm not going to smile. And yeah, so we've got the rookies on a Thursday. Obviously, Rowdy's going to be joining that one. A great sort of proving ground. It's a great event for people to get used to Formula Racing, how we run our events, and obviously to prove a bit of pace. You know, prove race etiquette and all those good things, racecraft, etc. And then we move on to Fridays, which is the Pure Sim Gear GT3. That's an hour race, and that is currently running as well. Great series, our most popular one, without a doubt. And then we've got the endurance events that we run, which happen on a Saturday, of which there's a couple of rather large ones on the way, which we'll touch on later on. Quickly, I've got to give a shout out and a mention to all our Patreons. As you can see there, that probably needs updating again because we've had another influx in the last sort of week and a half, which is fantastic to see. Again, it just allows us to put on more events for you guys, have more practice servers running, and all those fantastic things that we do here. And you know, if you're wondering how can I get involved with that, well, quite simply, we've got 3 levels: 3, 5 and 550. Not going to break the bank, and everybody gets certain perks that you can see on your screen right there. So let's move back to this. Let's change from the pit lane because I know you all love looking at James's Porsche. Cameron Martin, let's have a look at him in his 27 Porsche there. So currently 8.5 minutes to go. So Chris Pizuk is currently leading in free practice with a 141 397, and then we've got Volkov in his Aston. It's 3.5, just over 3.5 tenths down. Then Karen Martin that we're watching at the moment, he is currently third. He is a full half a second back. Currently serving a 2-week ban. Why are you serving a ban, Chico? What did you do? Did you forget to put the oil cap back on before you raced, and it caused a lot of people some pain in the pit lane? If people want to know that story, we can share it. That's totally fine. But yeah, that's unfortunate, dude. That is unfortunate. As Veldman goes third. So Nico Veldman, I believe, is definitely a new driver with us. Again, always fantastic to have new people in. And let's run through who we've got checked in for this evening. So in the AM class, we've got James Williams, Marcus Shaber, we've got Kakauskas is in, Corvin is in, Black Magic Blanchett, Harry Goswell's in, Anderson Albuquerque, Caskanova's in tonight, Michael Massey. Remember, he had 2 third places last week. Obviously, I did a few jokes about that, which I'll try not to do this evening, but I'll probably fail. Stefano Barreto is in, Burka Aras, Madchip. It was actually really impressive, Madchip, last week. Rob Jackson, Roman Beloganov, that's a new one on me, I didn't see that name before. Serkan Duran is in tonight as well. We've got Woodward, Pryor, Matthew Ing, and Captain Cajonas is also in the AM class. They're the guys that have checked in to race. Fresh Brizzle's in the live chat. Hello Briz, hope you're well, mate. How'd you get on in your races at Kota earlier on today? I saw you doing a bit of LFM. In the pro category, Alexander Delatour is in, Domikosh Kish, Dave Goodway's in, Sergio Osorio, Terence Keenan, Alan Brown, Keddy's in this evening, Jack Young, Nico Veldman, JR Sim Racing, obviously Junior Hughes is in, Chris Pizuk's in, Latinauskis, Nopek, Volkov, Senator, Paulie is in as well. Eli's back in, which is great to see Eli back with us actually. And then who else have we got down at the bottom like this? So Bjorn Dale is in, Hellman is in, Favate is in, and then we've got Pascal Petris and Mark Henbury in the pro category. So it gives you a rundown of who is and isn't running with us this evening. JR's in, good luck everybody. Such a gent. JR, how are you feeling? So I know you were not feeling particularly well earlier on today, and I hope those tests keep coming back negative, my friend. Unsafe entry deemed to be very serious matter as I had the throttle on, says Chica. Tut tut. That's all I'm going to say as Nico Valman goes top of your timesheets there. And what's he with? He is driving the Audi. Nice. Nice indeed. Oh. And then Chica says, I hit a driver passing me, so it didn't look good. Usually, you know, when there's a rejoin to the track, Chica, and we've got the throttle down rather hard, that's probably not too bad. I think it's the fact you tried to kill someone else, mate. I think that's probably what's done it. JR says he's going to try. Yeah, hopefully, mate. Hopefully it will cheer you all up. Yeah, it will cheer you all up afterwards. No problem there. So Eli's in third place. Chris Pizuk, I feel he's only 12 hundredths off that lap from Velman. I feel he's going to have a rather good race this evening. We know he's really quick. Him and JR always conspiring in the background in their own Discord about how best to attack things, which is fantastic. We all love that. but we'll see what happens tonight. So Eli is in an Aston this season, which is good to see as well. So we've waffled on a bit about those, haven't we? Right, let's have ourselves a little track walk, shall we? What we've got left? 4 minutes. Let's do this. Right, let's have a look at Imola. Let's give you all a different viewpoint. You might not, I'm sure you have, seen Imola plenty of times in the past, but we can have a little breakdown. We'll look at Sector 1, 2 and 3 and sort of think about where we can get some moves done. So evidently we're going to watch our beautiful red line as she gets going down the main straight from the start finish line into Tamburello there, which is obviously a very tricky section. You've got to carry good pace through that part of the track, and then down towards Villeneuve and then into the hairpin of Tosa. Hard left-hander, that one, always opportunities, and then the run up the hill towards Piratella down towards Acqua Minerale. Evidently a very difficult, very technical part of the track. Shorten up the hill to the Variante Alta, and then again we've got another run down towards Ravazza 1 and 2 and back onto the start finish straight. That is a very, very brief version of a lap. Evidently there's a lot to it, but we will get to see that when we do the lap guide. Alan Brown says, "Yo, good, thanks, man. Kota was flying good." Well, let's hope you haven't used all of that speed over the pond, mate. You're going to need some of that this evening, I'm very, very sure. So 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go. That's going to give me, I believe, just enough time. Let's run through the standings. So in the AM category, Ryan Blanchett is currently leading that with 51 points. He had 2 first places last week. Stuart Price in second in his Vantage and 46 points. Michael Massey, as I said, actually got a third and a fifth in his Nissan, which I was really impressed with, on 44 points. Barretto's in fourth in the Lamborghini on 39 points. Then we've got Damster in fifth in his McLaren. He's on 38 points, tied at the moment with Matthew Ing, and he's in an Aston Martin. So those two are on 38 points. Then we've got Mad Chip in his Aston on 34. Black Magic in the Honda on 33 points in eighth. Ian Thompson is in ninth in his Porsche on 28 points, and James Williams in his Porsche is currently 10th on 27 points. Then we've got Idriani in 11th in the Vantage on 26. Marcus Schaber's in 12th in the Ferrari on 24, tied with Nigel Longdon in his McLaren also on 24 points. Then we've got Simon Turner is in 14th on 23. Mariano is 15th in the BMW on 21 points. Michael Herbert 16th in his McLaren on 18, tied with Sven Corvin in his Porsche. And then we've got Kokauskas 18th in the Honda on 17 points. Jan Hublet is 19th in the Vantage on 16. Then we've got Chris Schneider on 12 and Breck Wilms on 6 points. That's your AM category. In the pros, very, very quickly, well, not too quick, Nopek is leading in the BMW on 49 points. Really impressive him last week. Junior Hughes had to work really hard last week, but did a third and a first, so he got his just rewards in his BMW on 48 points. Then we've got Senator in third in the BMW on 45, so there's definitely a theme in the top three there. Alex Zagdal is then fourth on 43 points, although we have a DSQ. I believe Zagdal's racing somewhere else this evening. Chris Pizik is fifth in the Audi on 42 points. Cameron Martin, who we were looking at earlier on in his Porsche, he's currently sixth place on 32, tied with Konstantin Volkov in the Vantage, also on 32 points. Bjorn Dale is eighth on 31, again tied with Sergio Osorio in his Vantage, also tied with Domagoj Kish in the Ferrari on 31 points, also tied with Mount Pauly in the BMW, so we've got 4 there on 31 points. Kerekez is 12th, 27 points, got DSQ next to his name. Then we've got Keddy, who's also in there on 27 points at 13th in his McLaren. Favates is in the Ferrari on 25 points. Terence Keenan 15th in his Honda on 22. Mark Henry is 16th in the Audi on 20 points. Sean Freeman 17th in the Honda on 18, tied with Alan Brown in his Aston on 18 points. And again, then we've got Delatour, who's in also 19th on 18 points in his Aston. And then finally we've got Hellman in the BMW on 16 points. Dave Goodway and Latinauskas has got a point according to that. So that brings you up to date. We've got 44 seconds left. Phew. Only done 15 laps here so far today. No setup. Let's see how tonight goes. Well, just ease your way into it. I mean, it's a nice long race, isn't it? I mean, maybe you could use a bit of strategy, Briz. Oh no, you can't, can you? It's just a sprint race, you poor thing. How many do we actually have in? That's a good question. That is a good question. Thanks for asking yourself that, Martin. We've got 38 in. Good. Good. So last week we had 45 in last week, which certainly kept me busy. And then on the Wednesday I did COMMS in another league, and they had 42 in. So yeah, you lot are making me work hard, but Valdwin is still currently leading the way. Let's have a look at in the pits, Senatoir is in the pits. Let's have a look at Barretto in the Lamborghini. There we go, look at that, the number 4. Beautiful sounding car. Doesn't do too badly around here actually. Chris Schneider's just gone yellow on my screen, as has Domikos. They're probably just pulling off the track now, obviously, because the session is about to finish. So I'm going to just change that before we get in there. We're going to change that for qualifying doubters, so we can see who's doing better in their sector compared to the previous time. So who's improving essentially, which is pretty important during qualifying. So remember, we've got a 10-minute session. Sorry, we've got a 16-minute session, 8 minutes for the AMs, and then 8 minutes for the pros. So it's about to get a little bit busy. As you can see, I've got checkered flags on my screen just to confirm that the session is over. So anybody in the live chat, if who are you supporting tonight? Obviously you can't say yourself. We can't have that. Okay, let's come out of there. Let's go drive. Let's come back over to the 18th screen that I've got here. And who we got out the bag first? Harry Goswell. So Harry decides he wants to be my victim. And he's in the Aston. And everyone that watches this show will be well aware that it's Aston time. So let's get on board. Let's go down. Let's go down there. Let's have a look from that point. I love this viewpoint. Really, you really get a sense of the speed as we go hurtling down towards Villeneuve. So remember, these guys have got 8 minutes. You can see, I would say 16-minute timer at the top. We shall see. Let's have a little listen to the Aston. What we got? 8 of you in watching at the moment. Good evening, everybody. If you haven't said hello yet, you know what to do, and I'm not going to bite. No one's going to say anything against you unless Dale's in. I haven't had any abuse yet, so I'm sure he's on his way. And we've got 4 likes. It means I've got 4 missing, ladies and gents. You know what to do. Drop a like, consider a sub, and you guys can get to watch all of this stuff. Who's in there? So Smiley's in there, Mr. Jones. Keddy and Pryor for wins tonight. Wow, we've got predictions coming in. Brown top 10 if he can carry his form. Yeah, but I think he might be spent, Chris. That's what I'm thinking. I think he may have put in too much time already, as Harry's weaving about there, getting those tyres warm before he starts his first flying lap. So down into Ravazza when we go. Squeeze on that throttle, then you've got to get the line right. You've got to make sure you're getting on the throttle at the right time as we're coming out of Ravazza 2. We've got a very, very long start-finish straight here. Kino's saying good luck to the RKM balls. Indeed, good luck to everybody. Anyways, down towards Tamburello for the first time in anger on those brakes. Down into second, he's going to get a tucked in. That's quite nice to do there. It's pushed that throttle. He had to back off then, so definitely would have lost maybe a tenth or so doing that. But anyway, it's not a bad thing. Those tyres are still getting into the operated window, so it's going to take a little while for that to happen, no doubt. Through Villeneuve's, and then we're going to get the car across to the right-hand side for Toza. Hard on those brakes, and then trail in, get that apex, and squeeze on that throttle. I know it's not lap guide time actually, but then over the top of Piratella, down the hill towards Acqua Minerale. What a fantastic couple of corners, and wow, there was too much for Harry then, unfortunately, so his lap, that's binned. And we're going to see who else can get involved and set a decent lap time. So Hellman is in the pits, of course he is. Anderson Albuquerque. Well, Albuquerque's actually had quite a good run with us recently. Again, a very familiar name. He's been with us for a few seasons now, so he's well used to how we set things up within Formula Racing League, and everyone is aware of how Albuquerque drives, what the strengths and... I'm not saying there are weaknesses, but we've all got weaknesses, haven't we? So what his strengths and weaknesses may be. And that's the beauty of us having such a... Even though we're absolutely massive, and we are, you just check on SimGrid, even though we're huge, it's still really tight. It's still a really tight community, and everybody gets involved all the time. So if you're watching this and you've never raced with us before, get involved, you know. We've got the 24 Hours of Spa coming up in a few weeks' time, which promises to be an absolutely epic event. I think we've got in excess of 50 teams signed up to that, so that is going to be a really fantastic event to get involved with. And I'm sure James won't mind me saying, but you may have seen on SimGrid that they've got this rather important race coming up with a £10,000 prize for the winner. And we're going to be hosting one of those events, which is extremely exciting. November the 27th on a Sunday. I believe it's the 8 Hours of Bathurst. So we are going to be, well, we're going to be providing the show. We're going to be giving the stage, and we've obviously got drivers in there as well. The top 3 teams from that will earn themselves a place in this predominantly invitation-only event, which is, I can't tell you how exciting that is. But James isn't going to let me do comms. Of course he is. Right, anyway, let's get to the top of the timesheet. Stuart Pryor, well, Mr. Jones did say that he fancied Stuart Pryor this evening. And he goes top of the timesheets in the AM class with a 143 flat. Michael Massey's currently in second place, 2.5 tenths behind him. And then we've got James Williams in his Porsche. Nice one, James, with a 43.9. Black Magic with a 44 flat. And then we've got Barretto, Ing, Corvin, Chris Schneider, Jackson, Serkan Duran. They make up your top 10. And as you can see there, on your screens you've got the splits, yeah, and you can see who is improving on their lap time now and who isn't, basically. So Massey's 3 tenths down on his. Harry Goswell has stuck himself a decent time in, so that second lap, blessing in disguise maybe, gave him extra time to get those tyres in the window. So Harry's currently quickest with a 42.097. So Stuart Pryor's lap, I believe, has probably been invalidated, or he's gone slightly quicker, and then Harry's done another one. So what, these guys have got 2.5 minutes left, or a minute. I'll get there eventually, to get another lap in before the pros come out. Now if the pros are smart, they will start to come and exit the pit lane as these guys are finishing, because obviously you can't come out of the pit lane before we get to the 8-minute mark. However, what you can do is you can get lined up so you're first out the bag. Let's see if that is something they're going to want to do. As you can see on your screens, we've got everyone that's out at the moment in the AM class. Obviously the red background on a white number, that denotes the AMs, and then the green background on the white number, that is for our pro drivers. Just so that you guys are all aware. And if you're wondering what else is going on the screen, well, we've obviously got the type of, we've got the manufacturer next to their actual driving number. Then we've got the split. That's not too important at the moment. That's just a case of where they are compared to a car in front or behind them on track. The important bit of information is the green and red delta splits that you see, and that is showing people that are either improving on their lap. Stuart Pryor looks like he's, what's he going to do? He's down though. He's down on that lap time. So he's going to get another lap in. He is going to get another lap in. So this is it. It's do or die for Stuart Pryor. Let's get on board. Let's see what he can do. Oh, we've got another Aston. Oh, do you want more Aston time? I'm sure you don't want more Aston time, do you? Not in that way, anyway. James Williams got another lap in as well. So the pros should be lining up and ready to come out at the moment. I'm sure they are. We'll jump on board with them very, very shortly. Rob Jackson, that's come out of absolutely nowhere. Rob Jackson goes provisional pole with a 141.870. Remember, this is the AM class, and it's no disrespect. I'm not saying the AM guys are massively slow, because they're not. They're all really, really quick drivers in their own right. But Rob Jackson into the 41s, that puts him... And, well, he's in the pits. Harry's in the pits. He's not going to do anything on there. Chris Schneider's in the pits as well. He managed to get 3rd place. Pryor ended up in 4th in the pits. Michael Massey, 5th. Serkan Duran, is he still out on a lap? He is, but it's not letting me... There he is. In his Porsche. So I'm thinking, given where he is on track, I'm not sure if he crossed the line at the right time there or not. Anyway, we'll see it finish, and then we'll move on to the pros. obviously we'll do a full rundown of how everything looks once qualifying is finished. Remember, this is our first qualifying session this evening. They'll have their 25-minute race shortly after this, and then after that they'll do another qualifying session, and then they'll have another 25-minute race. So obviously the actual event has been elongated slightly, but it's worth it. And I'll get time and a half for overtime. Share that. Do you know what? I think my chat feels very lonely tonight because you're all busy driving and concentrating, which is fantastic. But somebody who's normally in here giving me a absolute shed load of abuse is not in here yet. So maybe Dal is predisposed to answer. So Kanjaran does pull over. Right, let's get away from the AMs and let me find this guy. Change. Right. Junior Hughes, JR Lock and Load. It's fast lap time, ladies and gents. Dow's building a PC. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He showed us all those pictures earlier. Yeah, good chat, mate. But anyway, so we are on the start-finish straight. We're in the run down towards Tamburello. So what we need to do with the car, position on the right-hand side. When we get just past the orange bit, hard on the brakes into second gear, take some of the curb on the left, and we've got really straddle that curb on the right-hand side, full throttle, back across on the left, and then veer out to the right-hand side. We're not lifting through any of that section. Then we've got the sprint down towards Vilnius. We're going to get on the brakes, down a couple of gears. He's only going to go down one then he's going to go down two before the right-hander. Again, each to their own on that front, used all the exit curb, and then over to the right into Tosa, hard on those brakes. In the Beamer, I've said it before, you can take things in higher gears. Obviously, she's geared very well. She's got good, even torque throughout the range there. And then we have to run up the hill towards Piratello again. We're going to put the car on the right-hand side of the track. We're going to hit the brakes, down a couple of gears, then pause, get the car turned in, apex. Then we're going to squeeze the throttle on, use the exit curb, pull it back across to the left-hand side for Acqua Minerale, down a gear as we go in, and then we back off, then down two more gears, and then tuck her in. Is that going to invalidate? I think he might have just kept one of those right wheels on that white line then. So the run up towards the very anti-outer, straight sprint, just as the curb starts on the left-hand side, on those brakes, down into first gear most cars, second in the Beamer. You've got to take as much of those curbs as you can safely. And there's a lot of cars on here which we'll talk about tonight, which will bite you very, very hard. Bring the car across to the left, then swing over to the right, just past the board there, on the brakes. We're going to trail down into first gear, into Ravazza 1. Again, JR's able to do that in second. Then we're going to back off slightly, get it tucked in, apex, power on, and then we are go to the start finish line. And let's see where that puts Mr. JR Hughes, as we're going to cross the start finish line any moment now. And that lap was invalid. Okay, I did think that might be the case. So where we saw that was probably down at Acqua Minerale. So Rob Jackson is still at the moment holding a potential pole position, but we've got Lipka here. Again, I think this is a new individual with us, so welcome. Lipka is currently, third place now with a 141.935, and Senator, remember, who's currently third in the championship, he takes provisional pole position with a 141.552, closely, and I mean closely followed by Eli, with a 141.560, so a mere 8 thousandths between those two as it stands in 1 and 2. Nopek in the Ferrari. Oh, we've gone Beamer actually. Have we gone Beamer? I'm sure he was in a Ferrari last week. I need to check that. Nopek. Oh no, he was in the Beamer because him and his teammate were having a really good battle. Yes, I remember. He's got my number. Well, live on stream, everyone. We all know that 101 belongs to Mr. Kuparius here, so we'll have to send him a message on that front. We can't have anyone else schooling everyone on track, can we? But he's currently in third place. He's half a tenth down. Lipka is in fifth. Harry Goswell, evidently, the other chaps are still getting their laps in at the moment. Chris Pizuk is in seventh. Volkov in eighth, as Lipka again goes quicker and goes to the top of the timesheets with a 141.240. Chris Pizuk, there we go. I knew there was a lap coming from him at some point, so he goes second. He's about a tenth and a half further down the road, which is definitely doable as the track continues to evolve and as their fuel levels burn down and their tyres get in the operating window. There is definitely going to be some evolution on those times, and again you can see on your screen who's going quicker and who's not. Currently Lipka in first place is nigh on a tenth up on the previous lap, and everyone else isn't doing that well, although Nopek is, what's he, 4 tenths up. That's going to put him at 141.2, so that could be challenging for a provisional pole. And then we've got Veldwin in there in 7th as well. He's a tenth up on his time, so that'll put him at 41.7. That would put him up a place on Terence Keenan. And remember, Terence Keenan last week, he did really well. I mean, I was really impressed with him. So Nopek does manage just because of those 4 tenths improvement, just to pip pole position at the moment from Lipka, and these guys have got 1 minute 30 left, so we are at the business end of this without a shadow of a doubt. Alex Delatour is in 7th with a 141.775 as Chris Pizzuk goes yellow on my screen. So it's obviously had a little bit of a wander there, or just gone off track at the Variante outer, that looks like. Senator is in 4th. Eli currently holding 5th place, Keenan 6th, Delatour 7th, Veldman, remember, new one with us again this evening, is 8th. Nopek still holding that time with a 141.125. Eli's 4 tenths up, so Eli could do a 141.1. That could be close. That could be close. 4.5 tenths, so that would give it. That would be pretty much on the nose for these two. But you can see Nopek is improving on his time, or now not. This is getting interesting. They may get one more lap in, depending where we are on track at the moment. But it does look, my screen's telling me that if Eli keeps this pace up, he will go purple. That's what it's telling me. So let's see if that happens. Stay with this one in the 69 Aston Martin. Although taking too much curb there into Ravazza 1, that will have slowed him slightly. He's still 4.5 tenths up. He's losing a bit of time there. What's Eli? Is he going to go first, or is he going to go second? What's he going to do as he comes up towards the line? It's 4.3 tenths. And Eli, I told you it was going to be close, ladies and gents. You can see that Eli's just gone second, and he's 100th off the pace. So he's going to get this other lap in. Just lost a bit of time through Tamburello there, maybe taking too much life out of those tyres. Lipka's in 3rd currently, Pizzuk is in 4th, Senator 5th, Volkov's moved up to 6th, Terence Keenan 7th, Delatour 8th, Veldman is 9th, and then we've got Cameron Martin is in 12th place, Paul is in 14th, and then Pascal Petrus down in 15th currently, as we see this battle for pole position raging on as people are beginning to finish their laps. Nopek and Eli still at it. However, I think Eli's just backed out there. He's now 6 tenths, 9 tenths a second, so he's backed out. So that's going to be a pole position for Thomas Nopek. Unlucky Eli. That was a good effort, mate. There you go. There's your pole sitter, ladies and gents. I can't see anybody taking that away from him in terms of what their deltas are. So there we go. I'm going to say that's qualifying done. That was pretty hectic, wasn't it? Right, in the live chat, so at the moment, Mr. Smiley, Mr. Jones, he's got a million names as Chris and 15 YouTube channels is what he told me last week. Well, 4, it's quite close. You were correct. That Pryor was going to have some really good pace around here, which is always good to see. So we're all finished apart from Pascal Petrus is still going at the moment. And Claire Gleason's popped a like on the Facebook channel. That's very nice of you, Claire. Make sure you come and do it on the YouTube channel, please. That'll be even better. 13 of you in at the moment. Guys, come on. Talk to me in the chat. Who are you supporting? Say hello. No one's going to bite. Drop a like. It's all good. And there you go. Qualifying is finished. So, the grid for race 1. Remember this evening, this is the Timpson Super Sprint Series. We have 2 25-minute sprint races. That was qualifying 1 complete. AMS and Pros separate on there. Let's get off that. We don't need it. 1 second, everybody. So, Nopek, congratulations, pole position. Eli, not far behind at all in 2nd place. I don't want it to do that. Why? Okay. This sort of thing should only happen on the PlayStation. But it's locked me out for now. Anyway, we'll get back into that in a moment. So Nopek is currently in pole. Eli 2nd, Lipka in 3rd. Chris Pizzuk's in 4th place, and then Senator and Veldman are going to start on row 3. Volkov and Keenan row 4. Delatour and Jackson are going to start on row 5. Remember, Rob Jackson is leading in the AM class currently, so he's pole position for them. Cameron Martin and Junior Hughes on the next row, and then we've got Dale and Goswell at 13th and 14th place respectively. Harry Goswell 2nd in the AM class currently. Paulie is going to start alongside Pascal Petrus. Favites is going to start in 17th alongside Barretto, 3rd in the AM class. And then we've got Serkan Duran, who's also in the AM class with Keddy. So Keddy and his Wacker, they didn't have a very good time there, did they? Let's be honest. Let's change that screen. I don't want that. So where are we? Keddy. Keddy's in 20. Okay, so Chris Schneider, and then we've got Stuart Pryor 21st, 22nd, Michael Massey's 23rd, with Alan Brown in 24th, and then we've got Latinauskis 25th, Hellman 26th, Domikos Kish 27th, Mark Henry's going to start in 28th, Ryan Blanchett, remember, he's your championship leader in the AM class, going to start back in 29th, alongside Matthew Ing, Anderson Albuquerque 31st, Goodway's going to start 32nd, blimey, Sergio 33rd, Sven Corvin is going to be 34th, James Williams in the Pink Pig Porsche is going to start 35th alongside Black Magic, Neil Woodward 37th, and then we've got Mario Mariano in 38th, Rokas Kokauskis brings up the rear of the grid in 39. So we've got 39 runners. Fresh Brizzle, Alan Brown in the live chat says good luck to everyone, and I concur. Right, at least we'll go there. Don't worry, ladies and gents, we'll get rid of all this stuff on the screen when Keddy says he's out. Oh, I'm out. I thought he was saying he's out, but he's not. He was telling the AM guys to be out. But you can see the confusion there. He says I'm out. Anyway, I'm sure he's going to be hoping to go a lot faster this evening because he's going to need it. We've got 40 seconds before we get underway. Just a very, very quick reminder of our race series whilst we wait for them to get moving on the formation lap. So again, tonight we've got the Super Sprint series, 8 o'clock UK time. On Thursday we've got the Rookie series, which is a 1 hour race with pits. And then we've got the Pure Simgear GT3 Fridays, everything that happens on a Friday at 8. Again, it's a 1 hour race with pit strategy. And our rather popular and fantastically run endurance and one-off events will happen on Saturdays. So, oh, hooray. And there we go, it's let me back in. Thanks very much, game. I mean, simulator. I mean, real life. Well, it feels like that for a lot of people, doesn't it? I don't blame them. Not at all. Okay, so formation lap underway. Again, something we always... Well, we need to take into consideration, don't we? What are they doing during the formation lap? They're putting heat cycles through their tyres, through their brakes. They've spent the time in the pre-session there, making sure that they've got all of their setups tweaked. They've made any changes to the tyre pressures. In terms of the track, let's just give you guys and girls at home some information with regards to the temperatures, and we'll discuss what that means. Wow, it's cool, isn't it? It's 15 ambient and 16 on track, so that would lend to rather fast lap times. What should we go for there? Let's go. Well, we're going to have race gaps there, so we don't want that session. Let's do positions data, shall we? So we're going to be able to see, you guys will get a snapshot very quickly of who's moving up the grid and who's falling down the grid by the information that will come up on your screen very, very shortly. Okay, so we're going to have the race gaps, and then we're going to have positional deltas for you. We just try and give you different bits of information each time. Lets you know who the movers and shakers are on the grid. That's always relevant. Again, yeah, so, I mean, it's a cool... ambient is cool, which that is going to allow the cars to breathe, and that's going to allow them to develop and really punch out those horses, which is exactly what all of our drivers are going to want to happen. The track's pretty cool as well, so they're not going to mount their tyres, but I think the key for this, with it being a 25-minute sprint race, will be to make sure, if it was me, I'd be slightly over-egging the tyre pressure slightly. You don't want them to drop off too much. Mr. Goswell, Senior, good evening. I'm very well, Graham. I hope you're well. It's been a while. Harry did very well in qualifying, actually. He qualified P2 in the AM class and he's 14th overall, so no doubt he's hoping for a decent race this evening. But now you've come in, Graham, he's probably going to bin it at turn 1. We're not going to do what we did last time and bet on... and actually have a bet on how long. And if you guys think Coops, you've been a bit cruel here, I'm not. I bet 5 minutes last time and it was 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Not wrong. Graham agrees. But yeah, good to have you with us. I hope he does well for the Goswell household this evening. So as we come through, we are getting ready We've got to go on with Eli. Oh dear. Nervous time, ladies and gents. It is nervous time. So remember, this is the Timpson Super Sprint Series, Season 3, Round 2, brought to you by Formula Racing League. Only place you need to be on a Tuesday, and we're about to get going. So actually, let's keep an eye and see what Eli is going to do in terms of steering inputs and things like that. So we're almost good to go. They hold you for a long time down this straight at Imola, but they're all going to be ready for it, no doubt. As you can see, we're approaching the start-finish line now. I'm sure the nerves are going. I'm sure the heart rate is pumping for these guys. They know it's 25 minutes, elbows out, and we are green. We are go. And what a start by Nopek there in that BMW. He just moves away, doesn't he? So we've got quite a lot of action going on behind us. We come down in towards Tamburello for the first time. Clean from position 1 to 2, and everyone looks like they're making it through there. Lipko and his Mercedes managed to get through quite nicely as well. And so they all start to file through, which is good news. We don't need to see people in the background. We've got someone off there in the back. Who was that? Serkan Duran has come up on my screen as an incident there, which is unfortunate. You are going to get incidents, especially in this position here, because you've got the concertina effect down into Toza. Everyone's gunning for it. You can see the positional changes on there. Obviously the gap's going to be very close at this moment in time, and Paulie's also just gone yellow on my screen as well, as the top three go through Piratella for the first time. All nose to tail. Eli looks like he wants to make a move into Acqua Minerale. That was pretty brave. Just testing that Beamer of Nopek, and you've got to remember, Eli knows the Beamer very, very well, because Eli used to drive the BMW, so we'll certainly know the pros and the cons on that as we come up towards the Variante Alta. He's definitely alongside, so he's going to get in there first, which he does. Hangs out well. That's very, very wide on the way out there. So I'm trying to change my camera angle. There we go. Let's go there. Oh, keep it clean, boys. And we've got a BMW all over him into the hard braking zone, into a Vatsa 1, just squeezing on that throttle. And you can see now, so Nopek, he's got himself a little bit of an issue in the number 1. Not sure why it's number 1, to be quite honest. The number 1 Mercedes of Lipka. So I'm not sure he won the championship last year. But anyway, each to their own. So Eli crosses on, Nopek second, Lipka third. Chris Pizuk is in 4th place at the moment, and I think we may end up having a move, because he's going to have a good run. And Lipka tries to go down the outside through Tamburello. That's never going to work, is it? And that's going to allow Chris Pizuk, come on. Change camera for me, Jeff. So Chris Pizuk now, he is all over the back of Lipko, and those guys have certainly, that gap has certainly extended between Nopek in 2nd place and Lipko in 3rd, and that was because he tried that rather audacious move around the outside into Tamburello, and obviously then had to back out slightly, which is what's caused that gap to build, as you can see on your screen. And then behind them we've got Veldman at Senatoir. So Veldman's in 5th place, Senatoir's in 6th, then we've got Terence Keen in 7th, Volkov. We've got a move going on there. And that's Senator, who I believe is a teammate of Nopek, because they've both got exactly the same liveried BMW. And he's Volkov in 8th, and that white Aston Martin at the back of your screen there. And then we've got Cameron Martin. So Veldman manages to get a move done. He's got some good pace. Does have some good pace, does Veldman. And Volkov there in the white Aston was looking pretty racy as well. Let's have a look and see what he's trying to do. Is he going to manage to push a move through as he chases down the 78 Honda of Terence Keenan? I remember last week Terence had some very, very eventful racing, was really battling at the front, and then had a little bit of bad luck, unfortunately, and didn't finish probably where his pace warranted last week. But in terms of the positions, you can see Eli has obviously gained a position there, a little bit too much curb on the exit onto the start-finish straight by Volkov, so that would have obviously slowed him down slightly, broke traction. Cameron Martin is hunting him down in his Porsche. We know the Porsche is not slow, especially through an area like Tamburello. That Porsche is going to handle beautifully through there. Let's see what happens. You see Porsche closes right up. She's good on the brakes. Aston, she sounds sluggish as she's going through there, but it's all in the low end for the Aston. Nothing top end, so Senator and Veldman. Nopek is currently the quickest on track with a 1:42.490. So no change there. Right, we've got to come off that. We've got to keep an eye on it. Let's have a look a bit further down the grid. So Cameron Martin is in 9th. Paulie is in 10th place. There's a 1.5 second gap between those two. Then we've got Pascal Petris in 11th from the 97 Ferrari. 2.5 seconds further down the road as they come down towards Ravazza yet again. Oh no, that was Privitella. Sorry, shoot the comms guy. Harry Goswell. Well, hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. Harry Goswell is running P12. Oh, as Terence goes flying over the curves there. That is going to put him under a lot of pressure. So Volkov's looking to see if he can take advantage. He's pushing him very hard. You can see that Honda's just squirreling out. Let's get on board. We have to see what's going on with this battle. Epic battle. I'll talk you through the position still as we watch these two having their scrappers and now go down the hill. Again, get the curve to the right hand side into that heavy braking zone. But remember, he's not alone, is Volkov, because our man Cameron Martin is just behind him, so he can't rest on his laurels. There's no peace for Volkov at the moment as we went through. So Harry Goswell is running 12th at the moment. P1 in the AM class, fantastic for him. Eli goes quickest with a 141.915. So the pace is picking up, the track is still evolving, the tyres are getting into the operating window properly, and people are finding little gaps, a little bit of pace. We are going to have a move here. I thought Volkov was going to send that into Tamburello there. So Harry Goswell now is in 11th because Pascal Petris has had an issue and he's dropped down to 12th place. Dale is 13th. Keddy has got himself up to 14th in his McLaren. He's got 2.5 seconds to make up before we get onto the back of Dale. And then we've got Barretto 15th, Fabertez 16th, Massey's in 17th. So Barretto and Massey are making up your podium on the AMs at the moment. Then we've got Henry 18th, Schneider 19th, Fryers in 20th, Goodway's 21st, Serkanjoan 22nd, Latanowski's 23rd, Blanchett is in 24th. So hold the phone. So he's in 24th. Where else is close? That is a close one. Let's go and have a look at Dale. Bjorn Dale is having himself quite an interesting scrap at the moment, isn't he? With Petris in front and Keddy looking to close them down. You can see Keddy in the background. So let's have a look at the 991 BMW of Dale. We haven't given him too much time as yet, although it can be difficult given it's a sprint race. So we got to 24th, didn't we? We got to Latanowski's 23rd. Ryan Blanchett's running in 24th. Remember, he's leading currently the AM category. Neil Woodward's in 25th place as Dale's getting pretty close onto the back of Petris' Ferrari. I'm sure Pascal's running with damage there. Dale just sticks the BMW up the inside, so that is the correct line for that. But you would assume Pascal's going to have the inside line. He is, but he's going to outbrake himself. No, he doesn't at this stage. He manages to keep that. Eli pushes the boat further with a 141.602. So Eli is really trying to extend that lead over Nopek, which is currently at 1.8 seconds, and Lipka's still with him in the Mercedes, 0.3, so we need to keep an eye on that. That's within the podiums, and then no change a bit further down. So we got to Neil Woodward 25th, then we've got Mattis Hellman in 26th place, Matthew Ing is running in 27th, Junior Hughes, what is he doing down there? Junior Hughes in 28th place. Sorry, I didn't really mean to press that, to be fair. So Junior Hughes finds himself, so evidently there must have been contact in the opening laps for him to end up being in 28th. Albuquerque's in 29th. Black Magic's just moved up a spot into 30th. Sorry, Rob Jackson has just moved up a spot, and now, well, it looks like there's been contact because Rob Jackson is just tumbling down my timesheets at the moment, so that's unfortunate. Black Magic in 30th. Sergio Osorio is running 31st, then Kukowski's 32nd. James Williams is 33rd currently. Fresh Brizzle, Alan Brown 34th. But again, remember, he was saying he'd only managed to do 10-15 laps of practice, no setup, and that should give you an indication generally of the pace around here, because Brizzle is no slouch. Rob Jackson is 35th, gone into the pits. Mario Mariano's 36th. Domikosh Kish is 37th, having an absolute mare by his standards. Sven Corvin is in the pits, 38th, and Alexander Delatour is also in the pits in 39. So if any of you two are watching, chaps, please let me know what's happened. I'm assuming there was contact, hence why you are in the pits. Right, let's go back to the top. So Lipka has just done the fastest lap of the race at 141.375, and we're going to get a move. Let's have some murky murk time, shall we? Let's listen to that rumble from the AMG as we come out of Tamburelli's got a good run on that BMW. Nopek's going to have to defend, although you're not really going to throw it down the inside into Villeneuve, but he is putting him under a lot of pressure, and he is hoping that he could just push Nopek enough that he just misses his braking point just by a metre. Yeah, or just goes slightly wide and misses an apex, because that will allow him to get on the throttle. We know the Mercedes. I mean, not everyone likes the Mercedes. I'm not a huge fan of the Mercedes, I have to say, but that's just my driving style. But we do know that she is a very, very competitive car. Veldman is only 0.2 behind Senator as well, so we've got some good battles developing here at the moment. We're, what, 10 minutes, well, 9.5 minutes into the first sprint race of the evening. Fast and Furious, not like the movies, because this is much more akin to real life than what you see in those particular films, I have to say. 28 gears and a go faster button. Anyway, not to be rude, everyone loves Fast and Furious, and if you do, that's totally fine. But we are currently on board with Senator, currently running in 5th place in his 112 BMW, and then we've got Nico Veldman, as I said, not too far behind, only 4 tenths behind. Let's have a little listen to the Audi. She's definitely good. Well, she does have a run. She's not going to be close enough though, unless we go a little bit of a dive bomb. You heard him back out of the power there, which again, that's just sensible driving. There's no point in trying to throw one up the inside there. You're just asking for a lot of trouble. But it's definitely putting the pressure on, as we see some dust being kicked up in the background. So whilst these two are scrapping away, that's going to allow, I was going to say Volkov, you just saw him just jump over that sausage curve then. I was going to say that's going to allow Volkov an opportunity to really catch these guys up. As you can see though, the top 3 just got zoomed past us, and then we've got Chris Pizik, Senator Veldman, who are watching at the moment, and Volkov, and that is your, that's kind of your breakaway really. If Volkov could get a bit closer, oh dear. So Senator goes massively wide through Piratella there, doesn't seem to have lost out on that front. Fair enough. And as we've got a lot of things, I'm not going to look at that this week. And my coffee delivery device is now redundant, because that most certainly will be cold. Let's have a bit of water instead. So 13, just under 13.5 minutes left, just to keep everybody updated where we are at. It's been pretty frantic at the moment. Let's go a bit further down the grid. Dave Goodway is 0.3 seconds. Where are you at, Dave? Come on, there we go. Let's have a look at Dave in his Mercedes. If you didn't watch last week, I was very impressed with his livery. We're going to have a look at that in a moment. And he's got a Hot Wheels livery. Again, it's just amazing. Look at that Hot Wheels. It's fantastic what you can do within this simulator, and the softwares that are available. There's a lot of skilled people within Formula Racing League, and of course outside of Formula Racing League, that can really just make up literally anything with their imagination, which is fantastic for us. So let's get on board, let's see this battle. So Dave Goodway, 20th position at the moment in the 34. Thank you, at the halfway mark. Good, that's 12.5 minutes, yeah. Right, so so Senator, well, we came off that at the wrong time, didn't we? Because my timing screen, Senator is currently down in 15th. Remember, he was having that really close fight further up the grid. Who was he having a scrap with again? He was fighting with, wasn't Veldman, wasn't it? And Keenan. So there's evidently been some contact there, because Volkov's actually moved himself up to 5th place. Remember, Volkov was a full 2 seconds behind. And it was Keenan, wasn't it, in the Honda that was having that scrap. So that is really unfortunate for Senator, but that's going to allow Cameron Martin to get involved, and Bjorn Dale gets another move done, or Harry Goswell moves down a place, so he's running 11, but still first in the M class. What kind of breathing space has Harry got? Back to Massey. So we've had another we've had a change in the AM class as well. So Massey finds himself in 2nd place. Chris Schneider is now 3rd in the AM class, as Lipka, again pushing the boat out in his Mercedes, goes quickest with a 1:41.340. We need to see. Oh, steady, Dave. So he's putting Mr. Pryor under a huge amount of pressure. Make a plan. Oh no, what did that say? Go back behind him. I want to see what he says on. Well, I'm sure there was some very good worldly advice there on the back of Mr. Pryor's Aston Martin as well. They're all at it, aren't they? Serkan Duran wants to get involved as well. So Dave Goodway, is he going to be brave on those brakes? I'm sure he is. He gets a move done into Tamburello So, but then runs wide. Steady on, and they're both, Stuart Pryor and Serkan Duran were both on the brakes nicely there. Good situational awareness, good reading of what's going on, and obviously you're only going to be able to do that if you partake and you understand what goes on the track. Why is Harry Goswell dropping places? Harry, what are you doing in the number 8 Aston Martin, as you can see there? And that's not too bad, because I mean they are in the Pro Class. However, if Harry's taking it too easily here and being too careful because he's got pros around him, I don't blame him for being careful, but look at what's happening on your screen. Harry's in 12th, Keddy's behind him in his McLaren. We'll have a look at her in a moment. Great livery on that as well. However, not too far behind, we've got Michael Massey in the Nissan. You can see the black Nissan there just behind the McLaren as they come through the Variante Alta, and Keddy goes deep in there, so that's going to allow Massey to get that move done, and it does. So Massey moves himself up. Oh dear. Moves himself up, and Nopek now goes quickest with a 141.175. So the front boys are trying, aren't they? And he's only 0.2 actually behind. I'm going to have to come off this and come back to it. So Nopek is only 0.2 now behind Eli. So challenge is very much on. We've got 9 minutes 20 seconds left of this race. I'm not suggesting that's going to be doable to defend for 9 minutes, because I've watched, wow, Eli's elbows are as big as probably Nopek's. That's all I'm going to say. These two, I don't think they're going to give an inch for this, not when they've been battling this hard in the first sprint race of the evening. Then we've got Lipkiston in third. Chris Pizzock's holding fourth quite nicely. He's got a nice gap of 4.6 seconds back to Volkov. And then we've got Vilman, who's a second further down in sixth. Cameron Martin's up to seventh. And then we've got Terence Keenan in eighth, Pauline ninth, and Dale makes up your top 10 has come down in towards the Aqua Minerale. Now again, I did say earlier on, Eli will understand this BMW intrinsically because he's driven the BMW for a long time, so he'll know where the Beamer's going to be strong. And you absolutely saw Nopek demolish that first curb in the Variante Alta, which I did say before, the car is set up in such a way that she's rather curb friendly. I mean, it'd be brilliant to see a 101 on the top step, because that's not going to be me. However, yeah, I feel a bit sad about that. So these two are still at it. No change further down the top 10. Pascal Petrus is still 11th. Harry Goswell is 12th. He's got a 1.3 second gap back to Michael Massey, who's 13th. More importantly, Massey is second in class for the M class. So we have to keep our eye on that delta. That is now down to just over a second. Keddy's in 14th. Chris Schneider, third in the M category, is 15th. And he's got himself a 5.5 second gap back to Barretto, who's 4th in the M class, running 16th overall. Dave Goodway, 17th. Pryor's in 18th, as we see some hard defending going on at the moment. Eli's just placing that Aston where he needs to, but I've got a feeling, and let's hope that backmarkers don't play too much of a role in this. So, who is the backmarker in front? I will find that out in a moment. I just hope that individual gets out. Oh, come on. Gets out of the way and doesn't hold Eli up too much. Does get out of the way. Yes. Good thinking. Good move. That was definitely a good move. I know you put yourself under pressure, but Lipka coming through is in third place. So this battle is still raging. Harry Goswell still... Oh, he's only half a second now. 0.7 ahead of Massey. So it would appear Michael's Nissan is working rather well at this stage. And you just don't know. You don't know how much they've taken out of their tyres. I know it's a sprint race and you think, well, it's only 25 minutes. They've only been racing 19.5 minutes. Yeah, I get that. But there's racing and then there's racing. These guys have been absolutely at it. And I want to come away from this battle for a moment because we do have other battles going on as well. And, oh, Goswell. Harry's... looks like he's had an issue somewhere, and that's allowed Massey to go through into 12th place and take the lead. There he is in his Nissan. So Michael Massey takes the lead in the AM class, and Keddy's got through as well. So Goswell's got to hope that he can keep Chris Schneider off him. Fastest lap of the race is still in that man's hands. Thomas Nopek with a 141.175, and he went way I think he got his braking zone wrong there into the start of Tamburello, and that has dropped him, as you can see, 2 seconds back. A massive sigh of relief there, no doubt, from Eli, and now Thomas is under massive pressure from Lipka. Let's see how this is going to develop as the run down towards Toza. BMW versus Mercedes, both good low-end grunts, both carry good medium and top-end speed as well, so this is going to be very, very intriguing. How close do you want it? Kissy? No. That is a real racing term, by the way, and if it's if you don't know it, then well, I can't help you too much. So yeah, kissy is a real word. This is the battle for second place we are currently enjoying, and I think we are enjoying it. Look, Eli's scampering away now, 2.3 seconds. Why is he being able to do that? Well, quite simply, Nopeg is not thinking about what's going on in front of him, and both those two clobber those curves. Again, I did mention some cars like curbs, some cars hate them, and the Beamer and the Merc, they will take those curbs, no problems at all. So, and that's allowing Eli, he's got free air, he's not worried anymore, he's not under any pressure. Chris Pizzuk, you saw just coming down the hill there, so Chris might sniff himself, and they're going to touch. They do touch. A little tap there from Lipka, and Nopek gets all out of shape on the way out of Ravazza 2, and here comes your challenge. Nopek goes defensive, goes to the inside line, so he's going to have the inside line into Tamburello. Chris Pizzuk is now only 2.5 seconds there. You can see the back of your screen in his Audi, he is sniffing an issue there. Oh, wow. Nopek cuts across the front of Lipa just to cover that line off and make sure he can take the best racing line through there. And these two start all over again. Plus side, Chris Pizzuk's now only 2 seconds behind. Then you got Volkov behind and Veldman. So they're not totally out of this. Yeah, they're all running at such a pace. Dust kicked up there. I'm assuming that's by Eli, but he's now 3.1 seconds down the road. So let's have a look from Lipka's point of view, what this looks like in his challenge on the BMW further down the grid. So Dale's having a good race actually, isn't he? So Paulie in 9th in the 84. Oh dear, Lipka gets a bit out of shape there, probably trying to carry a little bit too much speed through Piratella, and that's going to give a tiny bit of breathing space of about half a second to Nopek. And I mean, come on. Okay, I'm sure he got a warning for that, because if he didn't, he needs one. I mean, there's being, you know, there's being competitive, and then there's taking a shortcut. So Lipka, that's on stream, buddy. 3.5 minutes in, left to go. Let's hope that doesn't turn into anything else as we go into Ravazza 1 and 2. Chris Pizzuk's now only 1.5 off the pace. Volkov and Veldman are getting quite close together as well, so Chris needs to push. He's got 2 laps. If he wants a podium spot, he's got 2 laps to get that done. Further down the grid again, as we're saying, Cameron Martin's having a pretty decent race in 7th place, Keenan's in 8th, Paulie 9th, and then we've got Dale in 10th. Petrius, Massey still leading the AM class in 12th place overall. Kelly's up to 13th. Goswell is still 2nd in the AM class, only 0.2 behind, but hold on a moment, so we need to have a look at this, don't we? So Harry, Kelly's just got himself in a bit of trouble there, and so you've got Harry Goswell wants that position back, but Chris Schneider is all over the back of him. This is a challenge for 2nd place within the AM category. Kelly keeps out of the way-ish. Now look at Kelly's gorgeous livery on there, really nice livery on that McLaren, and they all go diving in, and I think Harry Goswell needed to have a rather large set then, and he was committed. He was committed. That was good driving. Yeah, he thought, oh, you know what, we've only got a lap and a bit to go. If I'm going to take a chance, it's got to be now. And he did take that chance, and that has served him well, because it's given him almost 2 seconds back, Chris Schneider. And I am not saying for a second that Kelly's just going to let Chris Schneider walk past him, because he won't. So that could be good for him. So as we say, Chris Schneider's in 15th, Barretto's in 16th, Dave Goodway's 17th, Serkan Duran's in 18th, Junior Hughes got himself back up to 19th. Well done, you. Stuart Price running in 20th, Chris Jones, you owe me 500 quid. Senator 21st, Hillman 22nd, then we've got Blanchett running in 23rd, just dropping down the grid a bit there. Anderson Albuquerque 24th, Blackmagic 25th, Neil Woodward 26th. Fayette's in 27th, Brizzle's in 28th, James Williams is in 29th at the moment, Sergio Azorio 30th. Then we've got Matting 31st, Domakosh just made a move up into 32nd on Mario Mariano, and then we've got Kakowskis and Corvin in 35th. So by my reckoning, we've had at least 4 people leave the server, which is not very good, is it? No. No, it's not indeed. So, leader. Here's your leader. Eli Poe on the final lap of the race. He's just got to keep it clean, keep it tidy. And Lipka, well, we missed that because we're trying to give everybody time, which is fair enough. But Lipka's in all sorts of trouble at the moment. He's just going to get passed there by Cameron Martin as well. No, not Cameron Martin, sorry. By Veldman. So, Lipka's dropped from 3rd down to 6th, which means Eli, Nopek and Chris Pizzuk finds himself on the podium. I did say he wasn't out of it. There is another race. Yes, there is. Yes, I know. You want your 500 quid back. Double or quits, Chris. PayPal's accepted, or just go to buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops, and then you can do a small donation to me if you wish. Of which you can all do that if you like. You don't have to, obviously. So there we go. Let's stay on board of Eli. Nothing looks like it's going to challenge at the back there. Dale's now only 0.4 behind Paulie in 10th place, challenging for 9th. Petrus, Massey and Goswell are still only 1.3 between them. That looks pretty safe. And Chris Schneider's still good, 3 seconds down. So Harry looks like he has managed to hold on to that 2nd place as Eli comes through Ravazza for the last time and heads towards the start-finish line. You don't want to lose it while you're doing that, though, do you? Not really. But anyway, well done, Eli. Fantastic. Well done to you. Race 1 winner, and yes, the customary smash into the wall. Well done, Eli. Brilliant driving, and nearly took out Nopek there for his troubles as well. So, Nopek, well done to you, Thomas, for 2nd place. Great race by you. And Chris Pizzuk, well done. Extremely good run there, my friend. You kept in the hunt, and that was important. And managed to get your rewards with a podium. Volkov managed to get himself up in the end to 4th place. Then we had Veldman in 5th. Cameron Martin up to 6th. And we had Lipka in 7th place. Eventful race by him, no doubt. Let's hope he probably didn't do any damage when he did that slight cut that we saw. Terence Keenan finishes in 8th place. Dale manages to get that moved in the end on Paulie. So Dale 9th, Paulie 10th. Petrus finishes in 11th place. Michael Massey, congratulations to you. 12th overall, 1st in the AM class. And Harry Goswell, well done, man. Well done, Harry. 13th overall, 2nd in class. Was leading that class, but I'm sure you'll be happy with 2nd place. Kenny finished 14th. Chris Schneider 15th, Barretto in 16th, Chris Schneider 3rd in the AM class, by the way. Then we had Dave Goodway 17th, Junior Hughes managed to claw his way back up to 18th, Serkan Duran 19th, Pryor finished in 20th, and then further down the grid, 21st we had Hellman, 22nd we had Senator, remember he was running at top in the top 4-5 at the start of that race. Blanchett 23rd, Albuquerque 24th, Black Magic finished 25th, Woodward 26th, Fayette 27th, Alan Brown 28th, James Williams 29th, and Sergio Osorio managed to come home in 30th. Matthew Ing 31st, Domikos Kish 32nd, Mario Mariano 33rd, and Kokauskis and Corvin in the pits 34th and 35th. Good. It's alright with it. Yes, it was. So that's race 1. That's the warm-up. That is the warm-up. So we're now going to do another qualifying session. Again, it's going to be the same as what we had earlier on. They're going to have 8 minutes for the AM class and then 8 minutes for the Pro class to set the grid for race 2. And if race 1 was anything to go by, we are going to be in for quite a treat this evening. Again, no pit stops, remember. No need to worry about tyres. No need to worry about fuel. This is all purely about pace, racecraft, aggression, consistency, and we're getting to see that in spades across both of those categories. So well done to all of you. Whilst we've got a quick break in the action, let's have a quick look. Let's remind everybody of the Patreon levels, shall we? Because we didn't give that too much earlier on. So an FRL supporter is £3 a month. You get a driver number, your reserved seat, and access to the FRL Lotto, which is drawn every Wednesday on the podcast. Then you've got the FRL Elite level, which is £5 a month. That gives you your driver number, your reserved seat, your Lotto. You get your number logo for Discord. You also get coaching and a new to PC sim racing guide if you're coming across from console. And then you've got the Alien level, which is only 50p more, £5.50 a month. All of the above, but also you get overlays and banners provided by Keddy, entry into yearly prizes, Sim Hub dashes, Elgato icons, and you can ask Keddy. You get one custom livery, which goes down very, very nicely. So let's come out of that as we wait again for the next session to get going. As we're just getting in the live chat there. Yeah, okay, same again for qualifying. And Volkov was asking Lipka if it was a fuel issue. And Lipka, as you can see on your screens, says, indeedy. So that is unfortunate. That's why he fell down the grid. It wasn't that the car was damaged, it was a fuel issue. Unfortunate. Probably won't happen in this race though. Yes, indeed, Graham. Well done to Harry Jr. Well done indeed. That is a great race by him. Very, very pleased for him, got to say. Harry works pretty hard. Doesn't always get the best of luck, has to be said. So it's nice when that does happen. Let's just give a shout out to all the legends within Formula Racing League that makes this possible. Jester Milden, Duke Martin, Elysium, Will Freeman, Duzzy, Tugberg, Gamer Dad, Ams, Palermoj, Hendrix, Yaz7, whoever that is, Venom Mario, P1SJF, Essa, Alan Brown, Michael Races, SJ Disco, Crazies, William Shuffler, Chica, Dark Horror, Supercut, Ray, Leonidas, DeWill, Timmy Blunder, no, there, Dal, there, Yavolton, yeah, Woodward, King of the Hills, A. Kayla, Jan Vinham, Lamaro, Dinder Mufflin, You Not See, Lurchies, Alfie Barron, RSR Cooper, number 101, Nopek, we'll have a chat about that later. Astral Racer, George, Geo, Renville, JP Dudesdob, Kino DJ, Fresh Jinx, Domikos Kiss, Jan Bath, One Ferrari, Mighty Road Racing, Shez Monkey, Darren Mark, Faco, Lord Ash Wilson, Butler Racing, Sergio Oz, Chris Vining, Big Dom, Keddy, Kevin M. Senti, and Smiley. You are all brilliant people. Because without you, without the support, this doesn't happen. And anytime you're ready, Race Director, we could move on to some actual action. I mean, we don't have to. We could just sit there looking at that. In the live chat, let's have a quick look in there. Yeah, Smiley says free DLC liveries if you join late night. Ooh, interesting. Is that going to be a new perk, Chris, or is that just something you've just decided to throw out there? That's good to know, mate. Right, who's first out the bag? So it was Harry last time. And it's Harry this time. So Harry liked being first out the bag, so he's decided, you know what, I'm going to do that all over again. Right, let's get rid of... Oh, Gildan Bennett. 1 second, ladies and gents, that didn't like that. There we go. Right, let's change position Delta to... Quali Delta. There we go. So we can see who's still in the pits and who's out the pits. Now, one thing which is 100% going to happen, okay, I'm going to pre-warn you all now. For some reason, and this hasn't been fixed yet, for some reason, when we do these 2 short races with the qualifying sessions, the second qualifying session will always not show everything in order. I don't know why, but it happens all the time. It's a software issue which I believe is being worked on by the people that provide that for us. So once that is fixed, that will obviously give us better information, or correct information I should say, and we can follow it a lot easier. Alan Brown says well done to P1. Yeah, indeed. Eli had a great race, Briz. But however, Nopek also had a great race, and Lipka was putting on some serious pressure towards the end of that race, and until we had a fuel issue. So he's probably had to change it and put it on a different map and just sort of cant around. Not good. No, I know. It wasn't what I was expecting, but hopefully race 2 will be better, because you've now had all of race 1 and obviously qualifying. We'll have had 2 qualifying sessions as well, Briz, so just keep at it, mate. That's all you can do. We've currently got 11 watching so far. Good evening to all of you. You are joining us. This isn't a hot lap. It's not a parade lap. You're currently joining us at the start of our second shortened qualifying session for this evening. We've just had an absolutely mental first sprint race, 25-minute sprint race, and now we are in qualifying. So the AMs are out first. We do have the AMs and the pros. They amalgamate in the same grid, which always brings, well, there's more than one story, isn't there, which is great for us. So those guys and girls have just been out, and we've got the AMs out first. They will complete their 8 minutes of qualifying, and then the pros will come out and do theirs, and then we get to do battle for 25 minutes. So Briz, yeah, good, Alan. I'm really chuffed for you, mate. I really am, and I hope it's a good one. I hope it maybe gives you a bit more flexibility than the last one. But I love good news, mate. I love sharing good news, and yeah, Alan's got himself a nice new job, which is fantastic, especially at this time of year. So, well done to you, mate. Well done to you anyway. So, Harry Goswell going through the Variante outer. Everybody should be really au fait with their cars now, and the track, you know, I mean, evidently that should be the case before they get into the sessions, but they really should be able to push during this second qualifying session. In terms of temperatures, and okay, so it's 2 degrees hotter, so it's 17 degrees ambient, and it's 4 degrees hotter on track, so that's up to 20 degrees, so that will make a difference. Yeah, that will make a difference in terms of how quick we can switch those tyres on and how much you can push them. So we're almost getting towards, well, not hot lap territory, are we? But we're closer to it than what we were in race 1, let's put it that way. So let's get on board. Right, into Villeneuve. Into the heavy braking zone for Tozer. Get it tucked in. That's it. Nice squeeze on the throttle. That was nice through there, Harry. Very nice indeed. Good, Briz. That all sounds very positive, mate. Very positive. Through Piratella and down the hill towards Acqua Minerale, across the left-hand side, lift off, and then we're going to get on the brakes down to second. See, the beauty, that's the beauty of Acqua Minerale. It's all about the timing, it's about how much momentum you carry through there. When you get that right, as Harry definitely did just get that right, when all that comes together, it's like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a nice sort of double left, and you just swing round and happy days. But it's not, is it? I mean, we know it's really difficult. Oh, no, anyone see my sign? I know, I need to change the cameras and stuff around. But, Graham, was you at Donington? Obviously, I met Harry and Luke. I didn't know you were there, mate. Otherwise, I would have told him. I would have said, I want to meet the man. I want to meet Mr. Senior. Good event, though. Very good event. We all had a fantastic time there. A little bit messy. Not me, obviously. And at one point, the idea was to try and force our way into the comms box and try and let me have a go, but security weren't too happy about that. Yeah, it was. I wish it was just a day. It was an entire weekend. I ended up coming back with COVID, which was well, I didn't. That wasn't on my ticket. Let's put it that way. Right, let's change over from Harry. I'll try and let you know. So Harry's currently setting the quickest time with a 1:41.820. Just so that you are all aware. Now, again, if you looking at the timings on your left-hand side of the screen and thinking, well, why are they not correct? You know why. I'll explain that to you already. So we just have to basically enjoy. That's what I'll say. We need to enjoy qualifying. Let's have a look at Kakauskas. We haven't watched him too much this evening in the 888 Honda. And he is, well, it says that he's 8th. That's fair enough. So we've got Pryor in 2nd. Who we got in 3rd? Michael Massey's in 3rd place at the moment. Chris Schneider's in 4th. Barretto's in 5th. And then we've got Duran 6th. Albuquerque 7th. Kokauskas we're watching at the moment. It's currently in P8 in the AM class. And then we've got Blanchett in 9th. Corvin in 10th. And then Magic. Oh, Magic and Ing No, Magic is... Oh dear, Kokolskis takes the scenic route. Malda, pro driver, is on track. Who is am qualifying is indeed... Let me have a look. I'll find them, don't worry. That's not... You are right, Mald. Or Maldy. Apologies if I didn't get that correct. Please do correct me in the live chat. Interesting. We'll find out. Don't worry. The stewards are always keeping their eyes out for this sort of stuff, so we will find if there is someone on track that shouldn't be. So Sven in the 72 Porsche. Again, we haven't. Unfortunately, this is the one thing that I love. Well, I love the sprint format because it is. Ooh, that's never going to work without Porsche. That's a nice livery though. I do like that. That's unfortunate for Corvin then. So he's going to be returned to the pits. As you can see, the big boys are just coming out. So we'll obviously kind of run through properly who's qualified where when they're done. But at the moment, it looks like Harry Goswell, with his 8 attempts down, is currently in first place. Pryor is in the pit. So Harry, that looks like a P1 in the AMS for pole position for this race as well. Impressive stuff, dude. James Williams. Aha! James Williams. There we go. He thought to himself, well, Coops hasn't given me any airtime so far today, apart from in the pits at the start, so I'm going to jump out first. That will show him. Wow. You're going to show us, Mr. Williams. So, let's have a look at James Williams in his Pink Pig Porsche, the number 41. Now, we were saying earlier on, weren't we, with regards to certain cars can just, you know, really munch those curves, especially at the very anti-outer, i.e. the Merc and the Beamer. I'm sure the eagle-eyed among you there would have noticed that James was nowhere near those sausage curves, and that's very, very wise of him in that Porsche, because we know the Porsche is so aero-dependent with that short wheelbase. I don't think people realise, unless you've... 2 or 1 was better, but no worries. Okay, no worries. James pulls over, so he's not happy with that, and that's a nice view with some grass cutting there, aka Chris Gedman. He used to drive a Porsche, and then he thought better of it and got in a Bentley. So Harry's lap is still standing. Still standing that test at the moment. Who should we pick? Right. Malde. Come on, you've got to tell me how I need to pronounce that name. Can you pick a driver for me, please, that you would like me to follow? It's a good idea. I mean, I won't sit here for the entire qualifying session before you tell me, but I'm going to... Harry says, beat my PB by a whole second today. Good lad, well done. Now let's beat that one by a second, please. Otherwise, tonight is a failure. Not that you can get that much that much improvement in a day. It's impossible. Not at this level. We're normally talking like hundreds, maybe a couple of tens. So that's really good work, Harry. Well done. And no one's told me who they want to watch, so I'm going to go and pick someone. I'm going to pick Neil Woodward. No, I'm not, because he's in the pits. Although he's got a nice FRL livery there and a beautiful little icon right in the corner. See on the back. Oh, that's me. Cheers, mate. Keddy. Let's have a look at Keddy. Keddy probably would be rather disappointed from that first race, I have to say. Didn't qualify. Well, I don't think he qualified that badly, actually. Or did he? I'm getting old. My memory sometimes escapes me, especially when we're in the middle of a sprint session like this. But managed to claw his way back through the field to a degree. And I think him and Junior Hughes will certainly be looking to settle. When I say settle a score, I don't mean to help someone else off the track, but they'll certainly be wanting to have a better performance. So we should start getting some pretty quick times coming through. And again, I can't tell you who's where because it's not updated properly, although it's still telling me Harry Goswell is still the quickest of the bunch with a 1:41.820, which, you know what, I can well understand that, because that is a very, very quick time, Harry. That's a very quick time. Keddy's up on his lap. Senator's out. Junior Hughes is out. Pizuk is down on his lap. Cameron Martin is out. And Nopek, well, someone had to knock Harry off his perch eventually from the Pro class. And Nopek says, you know what? I was hunting for that race win in race 1. I'm going to stick it on pole position. So he currently is your provisional P1 with a 141.197. Now, what did Harry do? 141.827. So 7 tenths, 6 tenths, I'll say 6 tenths. That's a big difference, isn't it? So Lipka goes second place currently, and we know the battle that those guys were having in race 1. I'm trying to find third place, but I can't. Is it Chris? No, it's not. We're gonna have to wait. We've got 3 minutes, and then we can run through properly exactly what the full grid is, and that would be really, really nice, wouldn't it? I think so. That'll be really nice, so we know where people are starting. Needs to be fixed. Well, Harry Goswell's time is still good enough for P3 overall, according to my timing screen. That's impressive. That is impressive. 4th place, Chris Pizuk is in 4th currently, as we're watching him at the moment. Stuart Pryor's gone 5th. As you can see, they're all starting to push up the grid a little bit now, so Pryor's in 5th. Cameron Martin goes provisional P3. That's an impressive lap by him. And where's Mr. Hughes? What's he up to? So he's currently in P10 in his BMW, and he's either chasing down Nopek or Senator. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, I know. So 2 minutes left. I'm actually, whilst we're just watching Hughes, and is he up on his lap? Where are you, Hughesy? No, you're 10th down at the moment, which is a shame. Keddy's up, Senator is up, Chris Pizuk's nearly 4 tenths up. That's going to move him potentially. Goodway's 4 tenths up as well. Veldman is 9 tenths up on his lap. So, well, I mean, we know he's got some good pace. He showed that in race 1. So let's see where that could potentially put him. Right, let me share some amazing news with everybody. Let's wait and see. Oh, that's not particularly amazing, is it? Well, Cover's still 0-0 with Wigan. That's disappointing, but I'm sure we'll beat them. That really could be famous last words there, Coops. Is Harry still holding 3rd place? That's what I want to know. Timing screen says no. Harry's now in 5th currently. So Nopek is still 1st. Lipka is still running in 2nd place, and people are starting to come into the pits now. We're in the last minute of this qualifying session, and then we can actually tell everybody where they're going to be starting, which is frustrating. I get it, guys. It really frustrates me, this second part of qualifying. 9 of you still with us at the moment, which is great. We've got 10 likes. That's not bad. It'd be great if we could get that to 600,000 before the end of the show. Wow, Latecomer Veldman sticks a provisional pole lap in there with a 140. But then as soon as he does that, Nopek sticks another quick lap in a 148.55, which I can't see what the timing is on that at the moment. I'm sure there's not a lot between them. A 140. Oh no, there's not. There's only, well, there's less than a tenth between Veldman and Nopek at the moment. So this is everybody's last opportunity. Keddy's down in 17th, Senator's 6th. We're watching Junior Hughes at the moment. He's in 11th. Pizuk's in 3rd. Cameron, Dave Goodway down in 20th. Just not having a great one tonight is Mr. Goodway, I have to say. But these things do happen. So obviously qualifying has finished. People are able to complete this lap, and then once they've done that, we will then move on and go into the wait time for our second race of the evening. Remember, the first one was a massively frantic 25 minutes, really great battles going on all over the place, and I don't see this one being any different, as Chris Pizuk, I believe, comes into the pits. Junior Hughes is going to finish his lap. And where did that take him? That's the question. Where did you go, Mr. Hughes? Well, obviously it's not going to show me. Yeah, I think that bit definitely does need to be, that does need to be looked at. Certainly does need to be looked at. So we've still got a couple out at the moment, but as you can see on your screens, everything is done. The guys and girls are all coming back into the pits, and in a moment I'll be able to give you an actual rundown of what we can expect. Junior Hughes, P7. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, he wasn't. It's not that he was slow in race 1. Evidently, he had some issues, or there was some contact, or something happened to him in race 1 that put him all the way down the bottom of the grid, and then he had to fight his way back through just to finish in the top 20. But there we go. Okay. Right. Shall we run through? I think it's a good idea. If we actually run through who's where. Brizzle's just done a PB. Nice. Well done, Alan. Okay, ladies and gents, your starting grid for race 2 looks something like this. In the 101 BMW, which isn't really 101, we have Thomas Nopek is in pole position. Congratulations to you. He's going to start alongside Nico Veldman in second place. Chris Pizzock's going to start third with Volkov. And then we've got Lipka and Senator in 5th and 6th. Junior Hughes is going to start 7th alongside Terence Keenan. Then you've got Cameron Martin 9th. Harry Goswell, remember, AM-Class, is going to start in P10. Paulie's going to start in 11th alongside Bjorn Dale. And then we're going to have Stuart Pryor and Marco Kelly 13th and 14th. Eli, remember, race winner from race 1, is going to start 15th alongside Michael Massey in the AM category. Then we've got Pascal Petris in 17th. Daniel Chris Schneider in 18th, Alan Brown 19th, and Dave Goodway managed to get into 20th position. Serkan Duran 21st alongside Anderson Albuquerque in 22nd. Mattis Hellman 23rd, Sergio Zuro 24th, Stefano Barreto 25th, Domikos Kish is going to start in 26th. I'm going to have a chat with him after and see what's the crack with that, because he's normally much quicker. Rokas Kokowski's 27th alongside Ryan Blanchett, Sven Corvin 29th, James Williams in P30. Then we have Black Magic 31st, Neil Woodward 32nd, Ludovic Fayetz in 33rd, Mark Henbury 34th, and Mariano got there, brings up the rear of the grid. What is Formula Racing League saying? New FRL lap record set tonight. Previously was a 41.2. And by Mr. Martin. Not me. I'm Martin Cooper. But it was done by Cameron Martin. Well done to you, sir. Great information. Thank you for sharing that, Formula Racing League person. No doubt Mr. Williams. If it is Mr. Williams, send me something hilarious, like a pink pig. There we go. So we've got 36 seconds left. Again, you're seeing the cars just jumping up and down. They are just finishing off their setups, making any last minute tweaks. Again, in terms of the temperatures, they've actually come back down. So 16 ambient, 16 on track. So essentially exactly the same conditions for race 1. So there's no excuse, guys. You know what the track is like. You know how the track's going to evolve. You now understand what your opponents are capable of. And, well, that should allow us to have some pretty awesome racing in this second one. So, good luck, everybody. Goswell in 10th. Mr. Pryor is P2 in the AMS in 13th. And then Massey in 3rd in the AMS is going to start 16th. Okay. Okay, so they start themselves a nice formation lap. Let's what sort of camera shall we go for? Yeah, let's go up there and let's go back down the grid so we can see more. That's a nice shot. I like that. So again, single file. Who was that? Eli's just flying off the track. That's, you know, I mean, there's warming the tyres up, Eli, and then there's, you know, like really warming the tyres up. So single file at this stage. It is not mandatory to be 2x2, so everyone has the opportunity to take slightly different lines, do a bit of wiggling if they want, a bit of weaving for those tyres, drag the brakes, all the usual techniques that can be used to make sure we've got heat generated through the brakes, through each part of the tyre wall, so that when we do push that right foot down, when we get a green light, we have the best opportunities. Harry, then he's also warming up his brakes rather emphatically there, or maybe he was just looking out the window, I don't know. But yeah, puts them in the best position, best possible position. Oh, I love this part. I used to love the formation lap because it all goes out the window, you know, all the thoughts, all the banter, all the chat, and then who's in team chats with each other and whatnot. But at this point, it's just like, be quiet, concentrate, think about the race, think about where you're going to position the car through the first lap. It's not just the first corner, because you know who's around you now, and you know what the strengths and weaknesses of that driver are. So it's not just about the first corner. You might be thinking, well, okay, that he wasn't particularly quick through Tamburello first time round, but took a bit more speed through the exit out of Villeneuve and into Tosa. So where do I position my car to make sure that I don't get jumped in the first couple of, you know, all of these things will be going through each of their minds. Probably apart from Keddy, and he'll probably just be thinking about all the beautiful ladies on his aeroplane. And that probably is what he's thinking, actually. Or he's just shouting faster at his screen. I don't know. Anyway, good luck, everybody. Let's make it a memorable one for all the right reasons. And hopefully, the 9 of you that are still in here are going to really, really enjoy this second race. You know, you can see as the season is developing. This is only round 2, remember. But you know, that top 10. Yeah, I know Harry's in the AM class, but Harry's always quick. Just doesn't have a lot of luck all the time. But those 10, and you throw in some of the other names that are out of position on the grid, it is looking pretty formidable. Yeah, these guys are all working very hard every time they get on track. And I'm sure there's hours of practice. Anyway, they form up 2 by 2 as they come out of Rivazza 2. You can see at the back there, they're all just coming around. They're all ready now. Okay, so here we go, ladies and gents. Formula Racing League Timpson Super Sprint Series Season 7, Season 3, Round 2, Race 2 from Imola. 25 minutes of epicness awaits as they approach the start-finish line. Right, let's go with Volkov. Okay, come on, boys. Come on, girls. Let's keep it clean. Nobody die.
Green light.
Green light. We are green. We are go. Straight away, Nopek moves across there. You can see Valming moves straight across to get in that slipstream. And Chris Pizzock, he's in quite a decent position at the moment. And we're looking at Volkov, so we've got contact already. So that looked like Chris Pizzock and Lipka, and that pushed Volkov wide. He then went wide and touched probably Senator, and wow, Volkov is an absolute pinball at the moment, isn't he? Which is really unfortunate for him. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that chap get to the pits rather quickly. Which is a real shame, but no, he gets going again. Finds himself plumb last. So that is definitely good news for Nopek, because that means he's got somebody who I consider extremely rapid, not someone that he needs to worry about now. Veldman continues to hold second place, Litka's up to third, Keenan's fourth, so Chris Pizzock has dropped down a couple of places. Senator, Dale, Martin, Hughes and Goswell is still your top 10. Let's get involved with this train that we've got. Actually, let's get on board with Litka. I would love to if this would change. It does change. Right, let's have a look at what's going on behind him. As you can see, Chris Pizzock's just pulling his nose out there and having a look down the inside of Keenan as they go through the very anti-outer for the first time. And then Senator took a little bit more of a safer line through there, probably thinking in case those two have a little issue. My man Pryor got murdered. Yeah, it did seem that way, Chris Jones. It did seem that way. There was certainly quite a few bits of action going on at the front there as we've got this big train. So Lipka looks like he's beginning to pull away. Come on. Does look like he's beginning to pull away. So let's get on board with Cameron Martin, who, wow, that's pretty good timing because Cameron's just making a move and he's putting some pressure on, isn't he? He certainly is putting some pressure on Bjorn Dale at the moment. Junior Hughes has just made a move, so he's decided to get involved. You can see the 212 BMW on the right hand side, the outside into Tamburello, and Dale goes a little bit deep there, and wow, that was a fantastic move. Cameron Martin read that beautifully and positioned that Porsche just at the cutback, just literally swung round him, and Dale's now moving down the timesheet, but you can see Junior Hughes is in the mirror. He is not going to let up on this one, so he is putting on some decent pressure as we get the run down to Tozer. And then we've got Harry Goswell in his Aston Martin, mixing it, more than mixing it. Harry Goswell is up to 9th place. Eli takes the quickest lap of the race so far with a 1:53.627. I'm pretty sure that's going to go down. The Evil Scotsman is in. Good evening, Evil Scotsman. Go run DJC. Chris Pizzica, JR Hughes. Yes, indeed. Shane Freeman's not in tonight, but Mr. Scotsman, I believe it's the first time I've seen you in the live chat, so welcome, sir. Hope you enjoy it and spread the news. We are fans of Run DJC here. We are. Coops, my Janetta livery was 1,000. Yeah, rightio, Chris. Okay, mate. Well, alright, fine. Quit. 1,000? Wow. That's the quickest 1,000 you've ever earned, wasn't it? Anyway, I digress slightly. So, top of the timesheets, we have still got... we've still got Nopek, who's still running in first place. He's got himself half a second gap back to Wildman, who's holding his own quite nicely. He's got 1.2 back to Lipcar in his Merc. Then we've got Keenan, as Nopek does a 1:41.757. Quickest lap of the race so far. Keenan's in 4th. Chris Pizzica's holding his own in his Audi in 5th place, 1.5 behind, but he does have a BMW who is looking rather angry to get by him. Now, you remember in race 1, Senator again was running in this type of position and then ended up having that contact or had a slight off and, you know, foul down the grid. Foul down the grid, didn't he? So, yeah, first time here already, sub, thinking of signing up for the league. Get involved. Get involved, Evil Scotsman. You won't regret it. There are tons of things. If you haven't watched all the show, I put up all the race nights that we have, and we've got contact at the back there. That looked like Dale and Goswell. It was indeed Dale and Goswell come together in Tozer, and that's going to have an effect. As you can see on your timing screens, Michael Massey's just moved up to 10th, so he's now gone P1 in the AM class, and that's dropped Harry down to P2, Chris Schneider in P3, so a familiar look to the AM class there. That is not going to please him, but yes, Evil Scotsman, get involved, sign up, mate, get involved. There's lots of events going on, loads of one-off events, loads of endurance events, 3 different league nights, practice servers running 24/7, good banter. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do it? And thank you for the sub, I really appreciate that. So yeah, top 4 is the same. Physics in 5th we're looking at the moment, so he's holding off Senator quite nicely at the moment. It's only 4/10. Then Cameron in his Porsche, remember, set a lap record this evening, is 1.2 further down the road. It looks like he's catching a Junior Hughes. Well, he hasn't let go of that, has he? He has Nopek again. Goes quickest with a 1:41.097. So, are we going to put it into the 40s? Well, we're under a 10th off that, 97 thousandths to be quite honest with you. So let's see if that happens. Eli's in 9th, and Junior Hughes. Let's have a look. Mr. Hughes is making inroads on Cameron Martin. Let's get a view from down the bottom. Let's look at what it looks like from our carbon cam. Anyway, into Villeneuve's. So we're going to get to see the nuances between the Porsche and the Beamer. Now, everyone knows, you know, we've been doing this for a long time, and over the last year I have been commentating on Mr. Hughes, I don't know, I couldn't tell you how many times, a lot. And we know he's really consistent, was in the Bentley, is in the Beamer, and we know Cameron Martin likes to take different cars. Evidently he's got some, well, I say some, buckets of natural talent, because he seems to jump in any car and get the business done. But these two cars are massively different in terms of how they handle, in terms of how they drive, the balance, just what you need to do in terms of input. Yeah, I'm taking part in the FRL. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, good. Well, I'll be doing comms on that as well. You might have seen me on track. So let's see what happens. Nopek is still leading. Fieldman's only 0.4 behind him. So I'm going to move away from Mr. Hughes at the moment. Hopefully that will have quenched Evil Scotsman's thirst to see some of the Run DJC boys for a little while. And let's have a look at the battle at the front of the grid, and you can see Chris Pizzica and Terry Keenan are also really, really close still. Further down the grid, Senator 6th, Cameron Hughes, Eli is in 9th place. Then we've got Michael Massey 10th, Chris Schneider's 11th, and Harry Goswell 12th. So Harry's gone from 1st to 3rd in the AM class there, which is unfortunate. Then we've got Dale. So Dale's in 13th. Keddy's got himself up to 14th. Dave Goodway's moved up from 20th to 15th. Serkan Duran is 16th. Albuquerque 17th. And you can see Physics putting that pressure on Keenan in the background again. We have to keep an eye on that because there's 0.3 between them. Maybe, just maybe, we should go and have a look at them. Yeah. Well, we will when it changes. Just give it a sec. There you go. These two are at it as they come up the hill. And that looks to me, Junior Hughes has lost that position to Senator there, so Junior Hughes is down in 7th place. We got two good way, didn't we? Serkan Duran, Albuquerque 17th, Barreto in 18th, Corbin's in 19th, Fayette is in 20th, then we've got Pryor 21st, Blanchett 22nd, Magic 23rd, Woodward is in 24th place, and then as all this is going on, Pascal Petrus is in 25th, Domikosh Kiss 26th, Mattis Hellerman 27th as they get really close into the Variante Outer. Paulie's 28th, Kakalkis 29th, then we've got Mariano is in 30th place, James Williams 31st, Osorio 32nd, and Fresh Brizzle is in 33rd. And Williams, Osorio, and Anna Brown are all currently in the pits. Not ideal. Not ideal. So that gap, I mean, that gap looks quite big, doesn't it, from there? But I mean, it's not. So the Honda is very much a coveted vehicle at the moment within ACC. I think it's done quite well out of the last sort of BOP update, as Nopec still leading. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I know that shows what everyone's deltas are, but let's do the positional delta. Okay, so we can see who's made the most moves at the moment. So Nopec and Vilman are where they were. Lipka's moved up 2, Keenan's moved up 4, Pizik's dropped 2, Eli and Massey have both moved up 6, as has Chris Schneider, and Goswell has dropped 3 there. Your biggest mover at the moment is Fayette, who's moved up 14 places, and he's down in 19th. So, I mean, that's an eventful race if I've ever seen one. Well done to him. Most certainly. Right, where are we close? Cameron Martin is still trying now. He's trying to put the pressure onto... so they've swapped over. He's now trying to put the pressure onto Junior Hughes in his BMW, and also Junior Hughes is trying as he might to catch back up to Senator. I bet it's Senatore, isn't it? That's just my bad pronunciation. We'll find out afterwards anyway. I'm sure he'll correct me, and that's totally fine. I don't mind that at all as we go into Ravazza 1. We've got some dust being kicked up there. Ravazza 2 just having to hold off a little bit there, Cameron. Evidently that's to do with the line. Dave Goodway finds himself dropping down a little bit. Let's move down the grid a tad and see what's going on elsewhere. So Dave Goodway, as you can see, if you didn't see it from race 1, here's his Hot Wheels livery. As it comes screaming past down the start-finish straight. What a beautiful livery. Jan Barth is in. Good evening, Jan. Hope you are well. Good to have you with us. You're missing some epic racing, dude. And I mean epic racing. Race 1 was fantastic. Qualifying's been a bit crazy. And then this race 2's been absolutely, well, elbows out so far. And I'm sure it's not going to end there. Michael Massey drops a position, so Dale moves up to 10th. That puts Massey down into 11th. But most importantly, Massey is still ahead of Chris Schneider and Goswell in the AM category, so he is still leading that race at the moment. Oh no, what wall? Hey? But yes, there we go. I take it they know each other. Well, let's see if they have their own little chat. That would be fantastic. So, who haven't we really looked at this evening? Let's hope so. Stuart Pryor, we know, hasn't had the best of times. Definitely hasn't. He's chasing down. Well, I suppose we need to give our chap Ludovic some time there, because as I say, he's got a 13 now, actually. 13 positions gained, which is a great bit from him. And who's dropped the most? So Paulie down in the BMW, down 15, 16 places. It's just, you don't want to have races like that, do you? Let's have a look at Paulie. Look, absolutely in it in the BMW. And he's trying as he may. We've got a new fastest lap of the race. We are in the 40s, a 1:49.07 by Nopec. So he is doing everything he can. Yeah, keeps up in racing with this guy since. Good. That's what I absolutely love about the community. Moves being done, left the door open a bit there, and tried to go around the outside. That move wasn't really going to work, as Petrus is really trying to harass in the Ferrari. Although I have to say, in terms of Imola and the Variante Alta, the Ferrari, she is the type of car I would consider would be the harassing type. To be honest with you, she needs a little bit more harassing around there. Where else are we close? So this is 0.2. Oh, I mean, who's that in front? So that's Domikos. No, it's not Domikos. Where are they? Petrus. That's Hellerman. There we go. So Mattis Hellerman in the 26. Sorry, in the 342 is in 26th place at the moment, and he's having a scrap of Paulie. So good driving by these guys. They're certainly having an interesting race. Although the paintwork on that wing probably shouldn't be quite as good as that. 1.5. It's about, again, that's the beautiful thing. You know, I've been in FRL for over a year now. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Mattis Hellerman goes for a little bit of a wander, and that was a port to the pits. Unfortunate. Right, back at the top of the grid, Nopek is still leading this race. He's now got a 2.3 second gap, 2.5 back to Veldman, so that has most definitely grown since we were last with these guys. That's secure, yeah, in my eyes. If there's no mistakes, that is a very, very healthy lead. Vilman in second place, got to be happy with that. Lipka's in third, still Keenan, and then Mr. Pisuk is still try as he may, although he's definitely got a decent run out of there. Is he going to get alongside into Villeneuve's? He looks like he's halfway up. He's going to make that move. He's decided to go for it. Now, what's going on behind him? He's got it done. Keenan, he can't. He couldn't drop. He could not move across there. That was impossible. There would have been contact, and that would have been two people's races ruined. So well done to you. Chris moves up to fourth. Keenan drops to fifth, and he's now got Senator and Junior Hughes just behind him as well, and these two have not given up the ghost either, have they? No, they haven't. So let's see what it's like from this perspective. We can keep our eye on Mr. Hughes in the rearview mirror then. Harry Goswell and Chris Schneider, they've come up as a contact on my screen, and if they have had a contact, I'm pretty sure that's maybe Harry flexing his way past, because there was only 0.2 between them when that came up on my timing screen. Remember, that is for the podium as well. They are bouncing all over those curves, and I mean all over those curves, aren't they? So Terence has got his hands full, most certainly has. Senator, he's not going to be shy in trying to make a move, but he's got to keep his eyes behind him, because this man is always menacing in a Beamer. He's not going to let them drop either, and not far behind you can see Eli's just coming round with Vatsa 2, so Eli's putting in some decent laps as well. Remember, Eli won race 1, started really far back in race 2, definitely got a tow, just sitting in the slipstream, and we've got to make use of that. He's going to have to go on the outside, so Keenan goes defensive on the inside in towards Tamburella, hard on the brakes. Did they touch? I don't think they did touch. I think Keenan just lost that. I think maybe that was a bit of lift off, and obviously he would have had to back out as we went into the first part there. I didn't see any contact. I know they were close. I didn't actually see a touch. And if that is the case, I think a very similar thing happened to Terence last week, unfortunately, and that is not going to put him in the best of moods. So Chris Pisuk running in fourth place quite happily, Senator in fifth, and Junior Hughes looks like he's got the bit between his teeth at the moment, doesn't he? I think he does. So he now wants to have a little nibble. He wants that place back. I'm sure he wants to go and beat his teammate, or if he knows he's got an audience watching, get ready for some awesome overtaking manoeuvres. But he's got to get close enough first for that to happen. That is not easy. In terms of close battles on the track, Serkan Duran in 14th and Keddy in 13th. They're only 0.4, but very late on the brakes there. I think we've got a pattern there. So Senatore seems to brake a little, and I mean a smidge earlier for the Variante Alta, which allows him obviously to get back on the power a smidge earlier. And Mr. Hughes, I think he's just trying to play some psychological games with him and braking deeper, just so that he's going to have a whole face full of him in that mirror and maybe cause him to take his eye off the road. I wouldn't bet against that. But again, racecraft. That's what these chaps are all here for. We've got just over 7.5 minutes left of race 2. Absolutely pulsating race so far. Moves going on everywhere. Really good. On the limit driving from everybody. But again, respectful, clean, hard racing. We haven't had... Well, I know there was an issue at the very start. I'm sure that will be looked at after the race where Volkov ended up being a pinball, unfortunately. But other than that, you know, again, the passes are clean. They are aggressive, but they are also being defended aggressively, not recklessly. And earlier on we were talking about just behind these two we've got Eli. Well, we do have Eli, but also right on Eli's tail, as you can see, we now have the Golf Porsche, which is Cameron Martin. So he's come to join the party, and as I always find when we're doing the sprint races, when we get in towards the last 5 minutes, people seem to end up coming together, and then there's just loads of really epic battles going on towards the last few minutes of the race, which I'm sure it's going to be no different. I'm sure it's going to be no different this evening. But yes, if you're watching, guys and girls, I hope you're enjoying this particular evening's worth of racing. I am. We've still got 11 watching at the moment. If you haven't dropped a like, you know what to do. It means a lot to me. It gives me motivation to carry on, and obviously if anybody wants to sub, helps the channel grow, gets more people to view how fabulous our races are here at Formula Racing League, and gets more people involved. And that's why we're the biggest on SimGrid, because people watch and get involved. So if you haven't subbed, consider it. You don't have to, obviously. But I will cry if you don't. Obviously not. So this battle is still raging on. Let's go and have a look at something. Oh no. That isn't good news. I was just going to say, Harry Goswell's only 4 tenths behind Goodway. But I think he's probably had an issue, because you can see there on the timing screens, Harry is now P4 in the AM class. That is not where he wants to be, and he's got Albuquerque closing him down as well at the same time. So Serkan Duran is having a rather good race, actually, isn't he? Because he's got himself, there he is, in the 100 Lamborghini. He's moved himself up. He's 14th overall, but he is 3rd in class. So he is on the podium at the moment. Michael Massey still leads the AM class. He's got himself a rather nice 4.6 second gap back to the 14 Bentley of Chris Schneider, and then Keddy's in 13th in the middle of all this AM chaos. And then we've got Serkan Duran followed by Dave Goodway. Goswell, Albuquerque's now only 3 tenths behind, and I fear for Mr. Goswell at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see how it develops. So as we're having a look back from my rather favourite dirty Aston Martin of Harry Goswell, not his, obviously, just generally the car. Obviously I'm neutral, and I want everyone to win, but I do feel for him. Quickest lap of the race is still in the hands of Thomas Nopek, a 1:49.07, as I think a little bit of apex parking, probably not deliberate there, was enough, definitely enough to make Albuquerque slam on the anchors a little bit more than he would want to, and that's put Barretto all over the back of Albuquerque. So let's have a look at Barretto. We haven't had the pleasure yet this evening, not properly anyway, in his Lamborghini. Any change at the top? Nothing I can see at the moment. Junior Hughes is now 0.3 behind. But I'm not going to move just yet. Oh, is that Terence Keenan? It is. So Terence Keenan. Oh dear, oh dear. He is not having a good day. Not having a good day at the moment, unfortunately. Was that Terence? I believe it was, yeah. Poor guy finds himself down in 18th. He is going to be frustrated in a rather large way. Where is James? As in James who? James Williams. James Williams is here, chilling out. I mean, you know, it is a sprint race. Pigs don't run that fast. Let's be honest. I'm not saying, obviously James isn't the pig, you know, the pink pig. Yeah, the car. Yeah, and he's just sitting there, look, chatting away to Dom. They're having a little meeting, aren't they? Look, that's great. And Brown, he's having a bad evening tonight, although he was fantastic at Kota earlier on today, but it's not worked out for this evening, and Petrus hasn't had a great time either. Again, look at this Sergio, right? Last season, Sergio won 2 or maybe 3 championships last season, not having the best look this evening. Mariano there in the BMW, the number 13 BMW, is still running, which is great to see. And then Neil Woodward again. That Porsche looks like she's been a little bit wayward, shall we say? Either that or it's some kind of Banksy art. Kakowski's in 25th, Paulie there in 26th, chasing down that rather bright lime Ferrari of Ludovic Fayette's in 23rd place. Stuart Pryor is in 22nd. Had an awful evening, but these guys, Black Magic, let's have a look at Black Magic in his Honda. Let's have a look and see what's getting on. So 21st at the moment, it's got Corvin just in front of him and Stuart Pryor just behind, but in front there we've got Ryan Blanchett, and remember Blanchett was not now. Well, is that Woodward? No, 72. No, that's Corvin. Oh dear, and well, unfortunately for Black Magic, that wasn't magical. That is unfortunate. So there we've got Blanchett in his Ferraris running in 19th at the moment. Keenan, as we've seen, not had any luck this evening at all. He's running down in 18th, and look, I mean, you can only imagine what's going to happen here, yeah? We know Keenan's evidently got a huge speed advantage over the 3 in front. Leaders on the final lap. Where's that time gone? And I'm just thinking Keenan's just going to be so frustrated right now, as we've got the Lamborghini goes off track and the Lamborghini slots back in. Good, because we wouldn't want that to be a unfair cut, now would we? Anyway, let's go towards the top of the grid. So Thomas Nopek is still your race leader. He's absolutely led the entire race on this one. And as I said earlier on, when it was 2.5 seconds, that lead looked pretty safe to me as he comes, where are we? Going up through Toza for the last time, up towards Piratella. Velman's in second place. Velman, sorry. Great race. Brilliant debut race as far as I'm concerned. Lipka I've been impressed with as well, who's currently in 3rd. Chris Pizzak still in 4th, 8.5 seconds. And then we've got Senator and Junior Hughes. So Junior Hughes has not finished. He's not finished. Come on, Hughesy. I mean, come on, Senatore. Both do well. Into Piratella. So we can't really come away from this too much, can we? Because this is the battle. We're either going to have an absolute do-or-die move into the Variante Outer, or we're going to have a dive down the inside into Ravazza 1 and then try and squeeze wide on Ravazza 2. So let's see what happens. I will go back to the race leader shortly, but guys and girls, we need to see how this one ends, because this is the closest battle, although Keenan's got a move done on Barretto, so that's good for him. He's got himself back up a place. But it looks again like Senatore just manages to get through the Variante Outer a little bit better. Well done, Thomas Nopek. P1 in race 2. Very, very well deserved, mate. Great race from you. Well done. Nico Valman, very impressed. So P2, well done for you in the Pro Class, well done indeed. And Lipka managed to put enough fuel in this time. Evidently, last time he had a fuel issue and was running on the podium and ran out of fuel. So well done, Patrick Lipka. Chris Pizzak in 4th place. Another very solid result for you, Chris. Well done. And then Senatore in 5th. Vincenzo Senatore. Junior Hughes managed to hold on. Oh dear, oh dear. Wow, there's teammates killing each other. Well done, boys. Junior Hughes in 6th place. Eli finished in 7th. Well done to you. Cameron Martin in his Porsche finished 8th. Bjorn Dale, a bit impressed actually. You know, nothing spectacular as we're still doing donuts down there, but really consistent and holding his own there. In 9th place. Michael Massey finished 10th overall. P1 in the AM class. Well done to you, Michael. Chris Schneider finishes P2 in the AM class. Well done to you. Keddy's 12th. Goodway's 13th. Albuquerque got onto the podium in the end at the expense of Goswell. So well done to you, Albuquerque. 3rd place. Harry Goswell 4th. Barretto 5th in class. 15th overall. Then we had Terence Keenan. Again, a race to forget really. Great pace this evening. Just a couple of bits of bad luck. Serkan Duran 18th, Ryan Blanchett finished 19th, and then we had Sven Corvin in 20th position. Stuart Pryor, you can see there, he was 21st. Paulie 22nd, Ludovic Fayetz in 23rd, Black Magic, who we saw unfortunately have that spin, in 24th, Kakowski's 25th, Woodward manages to finish in 26th, Mario Mariano 27th, Sergio 28th, Alan Brown 29th, Pascal Petrus 30th, Domikos Kish 31st, and James Williams in his Pink Pig Porsche last, but in the pits. So I have to say, ladies and gents, I think that was some pretty epic racing. Some great qualifying going on there. Really good to see those battles within the AM class and the Pro class, and them doing their crossover as well. And I think everybody should be pretty happy with how that went. So that was the Timpson Super Sprints Season 3 Round 2 at Imola. 2 fantastic 25-minute races. Congratulations to the podiums in both the Pro and the AM category for Race 1 and Race 2. And I, for one, am very much looking forward to seeing how that develops next week. So, in terms of everybody that's got involved this evening in the live chat, thank you very much. I always appreciate you dropping messages. It's always good to get involved. It's how I like to try and do things. Anyone that's pressed like, thank you so much. Anyone that's subbed, amazing. If you haven't pressed like, you know what to do. And we can obviously, well, you won't miss any of the action. Brizzle says in the chat, had to react fast to that. Yeah, no doubt. And the server has just finished. So, ladies and gents, thank you for sticking with me this evening. Obviously, tomorrow is the podcast. I'm doing comms for someone else tomorrow. You can catch that if you wish. Thursday will be the rookies. Friday is the Pure Singular GT3. And then, obviously, we're getting in towards the big sort of endurance events that are on the horizon. So, listen, fabulous. Comms by Coops, out.